is because I took the skin off and just ate the meat. And the meat already has enough spice in itself. And the meat is actually pretty juicy and good.
The skin is the best part of the wings, though.
No, like they're chicken tenders with this kind of spice.
They're tenders? You took the skin off some tenders?
Yeah, I just ate the white meat because, man, when I tell you that skin is so hot, it's like you start sweating like profusely. You're like, oh shit. That's literally how you that's literally what you'll be like. You'll literally be trying to get cold air to your lips and to your tongue just so you can.
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't sound like a pleasant experience to me. That doesn't seem like something I want to ingest. I never understood why people just be torturing their bodies like that.
I never understood it until I met my white coworkers who showed me the chicken. They're like, I remember one day at work in the office last year and they were just eating it. And I was like, man, what's wrong with y'all? Like, they're like, it's a good chicken right here, bro. You want to try some? And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll give it a piece. Sure. I like spicy food. I tried it. And I realized, oh, this is a kilogram spicy food.
That's what something that makes your tongue numb after you eat a lot of it? No.
My one coworker, she has a weak stomach. So I had her try. She said, yeah, I can try spicy food. I'm like, are you sure? Like, yeah. So she took a big piece of mostly skin and ate it. Yeah, she left early that day to get some milk.
Oh.
I don't know, man. It's crazy. Oh, yeah. But did you stop recording? Are you ready to start all over?
We were recording that whole story you just told.
Oh, you were? Okay. Anyway,
hold on. I think we should do an introduction. That is what we forgot to do the last time. So if you're hearing this is about to get lit, you already know what it is. It is the Victory Clique podcast. It's me, the Prince Rhodes, here with Tony Tone, man.
Wagwan.
Wagwan. That's my thing. Y'all can't all be jacking Jamaican slang now. I got to drop the song. If you're hearing this and it's about to get lit, hey, welcome to the Victory Clique. I'm not playing no more of that. I'm sick of hearing that. I have been in and out the studio for the past 2 weeks. I've been on all kinds of performances and stuff. I've been on a lot. I'm very active. My single drops on Thursday on all platforms. You know the vibes.
I
put Miles on Friday. I put Miles in the booth.
Oh, really?
To record that song. Yeah, I had him do one of his little things, one of his impressions. We got to get him to do some impressions up here.
That's why one day, like in a future episode, we're going to have Miles start coming on here more often to drop some of his gems, and give away some of his opinions and make those sounds. Because our friend Miles is a very talented, I would say, voice actor.
Yeah. Anyways, he doesn't want to claim it, but he can voice act.
I think he's really good at like imitating sounds, which I think is a really good skill that some people can pick up and some people can't.
And you know what? That's probably a much better way of describing that, because he told me the other day he's not good at like developing his own voice. He was like, yeah, how would I find a voice like that? But he can hear a noise and create it with his body.
Yeah, that's actually really good way to describe it. Actually, I'll give you guys a prime example. Jamie Foxx is, he deserves all the recognition he gets, but a lot of my generation, our generation, I will say, hasn't seen Jamie Foxx in his prime in terms of him singing,
acting,
of course, like his acting, his impressions, his comedy, and I would say one last thing is his ability to be a good impressionist, because the amount of times I've seen him like imitate other actors and imitate certain sounds, it's almost, I don't say it's second to none, but there's very few actors that I've seen able to like do all that. Like I say, a combination of acting and imitate sounds.
It would be a really cool idea for the Victory Clique if we all kind of just made up one super celebrity, where it's like one of us acts, one of us does this, one of us models, one of us does music, one of us does something else,
Yeah, STEM work. I mean, that's actually kind of like what the ASAP Mob did.
Well, I feel like they were more just like the group. There's always rap groups that have producers and writers and rappers in there. But I mean, like everybody else would kind of be the master of their own craft. You've probably never seen One Piece, but when Luffy is getting his pirate crew together, he knows he's going to have like 9 positions, 9 people. He needs a first mate, a navigator, a chef, a doctor, and a few other positions. And it's like, instead of it being mostly swords people and mostly gun people, right? We would all take up one specific position like that. Like, one person's the doctor and one person's the whatever and one person's the this and the other person's the that.
It's not a bad idea, considering that everyone will have their own identity versus
and
all
niche.
This.
And I feel like we all have our own niche anyways.
Oh yeah. Because, like you said, a prime example, out of everyone in the group, Miles is the best to be able to like just listen to a sound and be able to imitate it. I mean, just his dog sounds alone, like his barking is actually pretty good.
Yeah. I'm a dog, I'm a he baby. I will never have to pay for a sample so long as I got Miles around. I'm like, hey, get in there and do some barking noise.
Never.
All right, now do a baby crying.
Yeah.
Why is there always a baby crying somewhere in a really dope song? You ever notice that? Like, some of the best songs always have some random baby noises in it. And it's like, whose child did you get to record this?
I mean, now we get artists nowadays making the baby sounds. At least the first conversation is the baby sound niche in the rap game. I
don't think that's like a big thing. I think there's only like 2 people, maybe 3 people doing that, and they're all Jack and Cardi. And one of them is Cardi.
There's also what's that 645 AR?
And that's what I'm saying. That's right up Cardi's alley, though. And then the only other person that's doing that is maybe Mario Judo.
Which, as the audience, I would like to hear your opinion. As far as if someone just stole your whole entire niche and sound, did it better than you for one moment, and then you try and went up them and you fail
on your project, the one that everybody has been anticipating. And the thing is, I've only seen one article or like video about that. Nobody's talking about the fact that this man really just slapped the culture around for a little bit.
Mario Judah.
I mean, that's really how what'd you say?
No, like I would say, I'm not a fan of his music, but I must say his marketing strategy of just doing some shit just to piss people off. It's not like 6ix9ine where he's just.
I don't even think it was a strategy. I mean, I really do feel like he sincerely was just a fan waiting for it, and he probably makes music, probably produces out of his, mom's basement too, or whatever. And I feel like he was just like, if he's not going to drop it, he probably was sitting on all those songs. He's probably a fanboy that probably had his own Cardi tracks in the cut. I mean,
that
he did have that
cultish.
One. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to build a cult following.
Oh,
I mean, man. I don't know if you ever scroll through YouTube and just listen to them type beats, but there are some people that literally make beats like just for Drake or just for Kendrick, and like their whole fan base is just like, can't wait to hear Kendrick get on this, and that's the only kind of beat that they make.
I've explored some type beats. Yeah, I've explored some type beats with a few friends, which to the audience, if they don't know about it, a lot of like your local producers will post their beats on YouTube, and they'll say this is a specific artist type beat for like people to be able to understand what kind of sound they're going for. Like, for example, someone can create a beat that sounds like something that Travis Scott or Gunna would hop on and say that this is a Travis Scott, a Gunna type beat. And that's usually mostly used for marketing, though. It's not to like box those types of people into those things. And a lot of people, for lack of a better term, shit on type beats. But the thing is, there was a year where type beats was just back to back to back the number one song, 2016, because Ooh was bought off the internet. And what's that? Panda was a type beat.
And for the most part, just about every beat. What's that song by Lil Nas X? That's a tight beat. He got some traction. No, his number one song.
Oh yeah,
Old Town Road.
Called? Yeah, Old Town Road.
And you double check me on that, but if I'm not mistaken, he was just somebody who was just playing around, fiddling on the internet, got enough followers, and dropped the song as a joke. He just found the beat online, paid for it, dropped it.
I mean, yeah, and it gained traction real quick. Let me see. Old Town Road was produced by. Give me 1 second, audience. I'm looking it up right now.
By some. We gotta have a cool name for them.
You say Young Keo, Trent Reznor, and Atticus Ross. Some random people, like I said, they're not a big artist.
Yeah,
and I will say it does show that there are many talented artists out there. Whether you're a beat producer or just a simple instrumentalist or even a rapper.
You just gotta know. I was telling my coworker this the other day. She wanted to start an ATM business, and I'm like, that is a great idea for a business. You just got to know who you're selling to.
Yeah.
Because if you're selling to the right people, they basically need you. If you're selling to the wrong people, they're trying to figure out why you even exist. And that's really the tough part of business is people legitimately don't care if you don't make them care. And, that could be your livelihood. But if you don't give them a reason to care, they're not going to.
I mean,
they're not like people. I mean, they are. That's not what I'm trying to say. Your craft isn't like people. Even if something you have is really good, just like you might know some really good people in your actual life, right? They could be really good people, but they might not know a lot of people. And some people might,
I was saying it's like that sounds similar to how, people tend to think that football players. Let's say sports, right? People tend to think that football players are the only people on earth that can do this. It's like, no, there are plenty of people that didn't make it professional or didn't have access to certain resources. They're just as talented or can do whatever they do.
Exactly.
That they're not been exposed yet. It's a lot of times,
and especially depending on where you come from. I have always kind of had this debate in my head. I've seen a lot of local acts go to other places to try to get big. I've seen a lot of people go to New York. I've seen a lot of people go to California. California is like the new Sodom and Gomorrah. I don't foresee myself going there. In the near future.
And no offense to anybody that live in California. Like I said, I actually want to visit the state. But there's a lot of craziness that is going on in California right now.
And I mean, that's the thing. California is one of those states where it's really nice to visit. I don't know if I would live there. The taxes are astronomical. You would have to be a millionaire to be average over there.
And $1 million is a lot of money. We hear the millions of dollars every single day so much that we get desensitized to, oh yeah, $1 million, I need more than that. But $1 million is a lot of money. Let alone trying to get to $100,000 so your average consumer is a decent amount. Multiply that by 10. You'll feel really good.
Yeah.
But just having that alone and saying that going to buy me a certain kind of house or a certain kind of property, where it's like for $1 million, I can get maybe 20 times more in other places. It's hard to see that, but that tends to show you that it's really all about, like you said, location and proximity to things.
Yeah.
I mean, proximity to things, again, exposure, again, know about who you know, and also knowing what you're trying to do.
Yeah. They say strategy is the tent. It is not like a thing you do one time. You have to have a strategy to house everything under.
And I'm just thinking, again, back to Mario Judah, I'm just thinking, how did he know? It doesn't matter how did he know, but I don't know if he knew the stuff he was doing was going to blow up or he was just doing it just for fun.
That's the thing. They never know. Just like Little Oz. Little Oz. There should be somebody called Little Oz. Little Oz. Little Ozzy Oz. That might be my alter ego.
Little Ozzy Oz.
I mean, if Future can be Jimi Hendrix, why can't I be Ozzy Osbourne?
Ozzy Oz. Ooh. Write that down, bro. Write that down.
Wait, I got to look that up. There's probably somebody named Lil Oz. if there isn't.
I doubt it. If they will, listen, if you make it big and they complain about it, just sue them.
Yeah. I
That's
guess
what
that
Donald
is
Trump
how
does, right?
that's how all Americans solve their problems. And I'm not going to say all Americans, the specific type of American I'm
Yeah.
talking.
Oh, speaking of that type of American, Donald Trump is banned or is limited on Google. Do you know what kind of person you got to be for Google, who literally says we don't just say, yeah, no, we're not supporting your shit anymore either. In fact, I'm gonna see if I can find this article, but I've been reading so many articles today that was talking about how many corporations and many companies are legit saying, if you are tied to Trump in your past any type of way, we will not support you, and we will legit chastise you, make sure that your life is difficult. No, I mean, I can't exaggerate. Let me tell you what Forbes said.
And I hate to laugh at that because I don't wish harm on anyone, and I don't wish any ill will towards anyone. But at some point, people just need a reality check. Like, that guy posed for a photo. Why would you pose in the middle of your robbery? You ever seen an episode of the Boondocks where the guy was talking about, you can't criticize the robbery during the actual robbery? And he was explaining all the rules of stuff to do. I'm pretty sure rule number 1 is never stop and pose for a photo with the stolen goods in your hand.
And this is the monster that this country has created. Because if a whole population of people can become,
I'm definitely using that as the cover for not only this podcast, but for that single, because that just in and of itself says like 1,000 different things. But please continue.
The fact that they think that they have the power and the audacity to legit storm a Capitol is because they feel like they own everything, because they feel like they're the ones in charge. Literally, it's a matter, literally they said, we're going to go into the most secure building in the nation because we have the right. So we have the right, even though the cops, the federal government, the law says you cannot enter that building without a badge. But they still did it.
And clearance and permission.
During where almost 100 of the most powerful people in this country are legit having a debate about some bullshit nonsense.
Well, it's not even just that. It's the fact that they were trying to, the election is over. They were certifying the votes. Congress has this long, lengthy process of, oh yes, and if this side agrees, says nay. That's the only reason they're still doing this is because that process is long. But the election is over, and I guess they thought they could go in there and hijack Congress.
Hijack Congress and say, "Hey, we killed them," or "Hey, we stopped them." Like, no, it's still.
And then what happens from there? What happens after that? Civil War too?
No. I think it'll be a bloodbath because I don't think it'll be a civil war at all. Well, actually, no, it might be because Trump. Some of the supporters were the cops and some of them were National Guards. So who knows?
America and that's a really interesting video about the actual strategies and stuff that would be involved if America were to break out into a civil war. And it would likely be factions of large cities versus rural areas. And they say the number one thing that would happen is the police would act like built-in soldiers, basically, for the other side. It would be like if
the sheriffs versus the county police or something like that.
No, I mean, because most of the police do side with the rural Republican, type of ideology. That would be like if the Decepticons had forces in every major city on Cybertron, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
it means that
to the Transformer, the Transformer watchers. I said to the Transformer watchers, it'll make sense.
I'm just saying it would be like if enemy forces already had a stronghold in your camp. If you're playing chess, it would be like if you had, let's say, if your knight and your rook were the opposite color.
Right. It is scary to think about that, but also on the same side, there's also plenty of other cops also plenty of people in the military that don't support this nonsense.
Which is where this would just be. It would just be pure chaos at that point. It would literally be. It would just be a straight up massacre. It would be like the Purge. Actually,
that's exactly what it will be like, because they're paying people. There'll be all kinds of militias. It would be, America would literally be divided. Now, we're not conspiracy theorists.
It would just be, no, I'm just saying that's, if I were to ever imagine what pure, unbridled chaos will look like, it would just be every man for themselves. And I remember used to having these conversations in like middle school with like my friends. Yeah, if the zombie apocalypse broke out, where would you go? Or what if, some dictatorship tried to take over America and we had to have a bug out thing and we had to be rebel forces,
Boy, I'm going to another country. I'm just say I'm not sticking around for this.
At that point, the world would descend into chaos because the United States is the largest economy on the planet.
Yep, and America goes under, who knows? But
we also have the largest military, the largest nuclear arsenal. It would just be pure chaos. And other countries would start to invest in the interests that, align with theirs. So basically, if there were countries that would benefit from, say, the Proud Boys taking over, we wouldn't have a federal government to stop that.
There'll be also some other countries that like a benefit from the minorities.
Other factions. It would just be pure chaos. It would be everybody. You ever been in a cafeteria when a food fight happened? It'd be one person.
I've been in quite a few.
Some green beans or something stupid like that. Yeah. And then everybody just starts throwing food. That's what that's like.
I have been hit with a donut once. It was actually kind of funny because that joint came out of nowhere, but still, it'll just be carnage. It would be carnage.
That's also something that's just straight out of middle school. When's the last time you had a good lunch? What do they call it? Lunch fight? Food fight.
Food fight? Never.
What did I say?
You said lunch fight. I was like, you mean food fight, boy? What? And I have not seen a food fight since. I don't know if we have one in high school, and I think we got too mature for that bullshit because it is stupid. It is one of the stupidest things ever. But hey, to each his own. That's all I'm saying. Listen, what I was saying earlier regarding the companies now hating Trump supporters is that the Forbes editor says that companies that hire Trump press secretaries, the magazine will assume everything they say is a lie and therefore redact everything that you have said in the past. This is like
he's just gonna drag this out. He doesn't want to go to jail. And I don't know how that's
what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying too. He's scared. Listen, people, Trump is terrified. That's why he's doing all this stuff, because he simply does not want to go to jail, because he will.
Which is why he's stopping at no ends to have to do it. And I'm trying to figure out if he thinks jail is worse than no country. Because the thing is, he's still white and rich. Then again, he has committed some of the highest treason.
Dude, he is, even most white people, even Republicans now are saying that he is legit an enemy of the state, which means if he were to get impeached and removed, he loses those benefits. He will literally probably turn against his entire country, whether or not if he riles up his Trumpies or he goes to another country, gives them secrets. Which
he's a flight risk, is he not? Where is he? Is he still in the White House?
Yes.
How is that? I can't imagine what that looks like. Like, imagine being in the room where they're storming the Capitol building and stuff. They probably had to rush him to some underground bunker.
Dude.
And I can't imagine Secret Service being like, "Sir, they're out here because you won't call them off." Dude. And it's like, well, no, I'm not going to call them off.
It's a matter of just pride and keeping face. He's a socio-psychopath. There's something wrong with him. People, listen to the way how he talks. His sentences, he has a strategy where he hasn't
completed a sentence his entire presidency. It's always just been a nonsense string of words. And that's why China And everybody here, by the way, and we have some good roads, by the way. These roads are not Chinese roads. These were built by Americans, and these Americans have jobs. Jobs is what I'm going to bring to the like. What are you talking about?
He's talking about.
He'd just be waiting for the next buzzword, and then be like, "Yep, I can deal with that."
The way he talks is, he'll complete 3/4 of a sentence, not finish it. Use a buzzword that'll grab your attention, like China, economy, Obama. When Obama had nothing to do with anything that he's doing right now.
Obama has made sure to keep his hands out of absolutely anything that this administration has even looked at for too long. Obama has been as quiet as a mouse.
And I'm so happy that he did. Now, we are not Obama stans. Everyone that is wondering, we have had our criticisms about him, but again, he is the reason why this economy has been booming.
Yeah. Well, if anything, I think Obama, in terms of the head of state, in terms of acting like the president, because you got to remember the president actually has, I want to say, like 7 official roles or something like that. One of them being chief of military, or not chief of military, the commander in chief, which is chief of the military. Chief executive, which is head of the executive branch, the head of state, which acts on behalf of the United States in foreign affairs. What was the other one? The head of state in terms of, I can't think of the actual terms, but one of them is the ceremonial role. And I keep saying head of state, but the other term is something else. It's like when he's the number one diplomat, the head diplomat, chief diplomat.
Yeah.
Whatever that is. That's when he appears for us on the behalf of the United States
of other countries. Yeah.
And then head of state where,
No, I was saying he has occupied majority of those roles very, very well, and strengthening, quite a few, relationships with other countries.
And in terms of maybe like serving the interest, well, that's the thing. Whose interest is he supposed to serve? And I mean, I don't know what the majority of Americans want. I don't think the majority of Americans want or need the same things. So
yeah, they don't. So that's where, again, politicians got to choose a platform and a base. And Republicans chose a very, very, like I was saying, Republicans right now have chosen white supremacy as their base. That's basically how I could put it. That's exactly what they've chosen. And, and they chose that a long time ago, but now it's really come to light for people that were blind to it.
And this is what happens when you build a platform on hate.
Yep. So now that we see it rear its head.
Let that breathe for
and now we got. And now that they know that the people that were siding with Trump can't make money off of this, because they were okay with still serving because A, they were making money, and B, they had a safe base. But now they see their base is so volatile and they can't save their own face, let alone go to another company, because it's already too late. They had plenty of opportunities to denounce him, let alone not work for him. But they chose money over just decency and character, which is
that's the thing. Even whatever they say about character, I could see how if maybe 20, 30, maybe even 40 years of getting away with all that BS, you probably don't think anything bad is going to happen. But come on. Like, the vibes. The vibrations.
It really annoyed me when people said, I voted for Trump because he's authentic and I'm sick and tired of politicians. And I was like, okay, if y'all want authentic, you're even an authentic person to be in office. Watch what happens in the next 3 years. People will say he needs to be presidential. I'm like, look, y'all say you want to be authentic. This is who he is. We don't need.
Beyond authenticity, sure, but there's a reason why political correctness exists. It's because, and it be the majority of the same people who claim that they don't care about it, or people are being too sensitive. That will be the first people to get their feelings hurt if they say something that isn't politically correct.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Again, literally, the notion of them saying, hey, he's authentic, he's being himself. I'm sick and tired of politicians being fake face. I'm like, look, do you want a leader in charge that's going to be themselves and literally piss off populations of people who cause wars? Or do you want a president that, yeah, he's probably racist, but at least he's
that
able
is
to be
on
politically correct to
paper
the point where
how you would describe a bad president. Because he's not supposed to represent himself in his own interest. He's supposed to represent the United States.
Thank you.
Even if he's just pretending. That's the job.
That's literally where I'm going. It's like, you see, Donald is a selfish psychopath. But as a president, we don't care if you're a psychopath. Are you representing the interests of the people of your country and your country? Yes? Okay. Do what you got to do. I mean, for example, Woodrow Wilson, racist bastard. Can't stand him or what his character was represented throughout his presidency, but he did help us through World War I, which of course. Well,
hold on. Can we just pause for a second? Sure. I don't really like any president. And why do Americans worship presidents?
I'm glad you asked.
I thought we were the anti that.
Let's go back to
we were founded on the idea of no kings and stuff like that. So why do people just go back to worshiping them? And I feel like that, where were you about to take this? Because I have my own kind of theory on that.
No, I have a theory too. I'm glad you said that. Now, this is going to be a basic one for the people listening. But nationalism, for example, in school, why the heck?
You can say that. We don't have to censor ourselves.
Okay. Why the fuck do we say a Pledge of Allegiance when we're 5 years old?
The Pledge of Allegiance was meant for the Confederates to pledge their allegiance back to the United States. Why it's taught in the South? Why it's I don't know, and maybe it is just brainwashing. Also,
that's where I was going with that. It's brainwashing. And you think America is great, it's a notion that says we are number one so much that we have no flaws. Therefore, and this really leads to this. America is okay with rebellion, violence, and gun violence when it comes from white people. Or when it comes from the white population. Because again, like what we said, rich people.
And not even just that, all crime. Literally all crime. Crime is so racist that, and this is not a new thing, that somebody who is, a lighter skin is probably going to serve lesser sentences for the same crime.
No, it's deeper than that, yeah.
Or even just get treated, whereas black people are looked at like drug addicts.
And thrown in jail. I mean, again, I think about it. We watched entire population of people commit treason and acts of war. And let alone the defense mechanism, the police, the military did little to stop them. I'm sorry, did not do as much as they could to stop them. They
let them in willingly? They were also the people on the other side that were also illegally storming as well.
Yes. But on the flip side, we see a protest about a certain population lives matter. I'm say Black Lives Matter, just having a protest in front of a building, not harming anything. The president and the attorney general, who the president says that's a personal lawyer when the attorney general is supposed to represent the interests of the people.
Which is why, what the hell is going on? Like, we are watching a literal henchman work. What is he? He's literally his fixer. That's how they describe everybody who works around Trump, as people who are just like handyman. This man moves like the mafia.
That's because that's what he's trying to do.
Some rinky-dink mafia.
Better yet,
he literally is like a Trump branded crime family. And his crimes are all crappy white collar crimes.
I'll give you a prime example. In 1923, there was a failed coup d'etat by the Nazi Party led by Adolf Hitler in 1923. 15 years later, or 16 years later, what happens? World War II.
Yeah.
World War II. So I'm just saying, right now we saw an attempted coup d'etat led by one man's strong personal cult following of his beliefs and his lies. We're going to see what happens in the next 10 years. I'm going to just leave it at that. I'm not calling anything to jump ideas in people's heads, but I'm just saying.
But here's the thing. These groups get really divided because with the internet, it is going to be a really interesting next few years because I feel like Trump has kind of been the umbrella for all of this. And when the umbrella bursts, it's going to, like I just said, it's going to be a whole bunch of different tribes of people that don't necessarily believe the same thing. And the thing is, it is a joke for people to be like, Proud Boys are Trump stans, but the Proud Boys are not an organized group. They're really a movement. And people just kind of take that movement and mean whatever they want. I think the Proud Boys sector in Virginia, they're in some wooded area and they're planning for the next Civil War / apocalypse. They're all living on. But that's what I was talking about earlier. They seem like they're more like doomsday preppers, whereas some of them look like they're trying to be the person causing the doomsday. People.
They're creating. America has made its own people paranoid of a war with the sheer violence in its culture that is literally self-destructive. We're seeing that now. And what you said about the internet and how divided it can make people, we're starting to see of information. We went from using the internet as a way to get valid information to now having distrust among information in the internet. Because anybody that might has access to literally write their own article and create some bullshit up, as we literally see. And when we talk about it, when people go into isolation and people start to think their own thoughts and start to find people that think a lot like them when their thoughts are probably batshit insane, it can cause you to have such faith that your false information is so correct that anyone that disagrees with you is the enemy. And they need to be exterminated.
Yeah.
Just look at QAnon. I mean, doesn't QAnon, I believe that the Democrats are some devil worshiping
and that's
baby
one
eaters?
thing. That's the thing too. They're so spread out because they're just a bunch of internet people. QAnon is really more of an internet movement than we have just taken this. This is going to be a tinfoil hat episode because we have just taken this down some crazy rabbit hole. But QAnon is a movement. They don't have strong ideologies. They don't have a mission statement. They're not an organization. The real danger is going to be the next guy who comes along and finds a way to snatch all of these violent people and organize them.
You mean like a next Adolf Hitler?
Yes.
Hey, people, I'm not trying to say this is going to happen, but I just want us to really just be aware of the rising of these strong bullshit ideologic cults, which gets back to the whole idea of what a cult is and a cult following, which is kind of crazy to think about because Donald Trump literally only serves himself. So him serving himself has literally caused all this.
Can we just we do another podcast on cults? Because
we 100% will.
Yeah, that'll come in the future.
We're gonna talk about that because, I mean, literally we see it so many times where whenever a cult following happens, it causes people to become so radical that they're willing to commit acts of violence for someone that completely disagrees with them.
Well, not even disagrees with them, but the thing is, when you worship the ideology, you will do anything to uphold the ideology. Not even in disagreements. Even if there was no opposition, you would still do it.
You would make up some opposition sometimes too. It makes
exactly.
shit up.
I mean, that's what a lot of people. That's what QAnon is doing.
Literally, just making some shit up. It is,
and
it's.
I think we should end this topic on that note, and we can transition into something a little more lighthearted, entertainment-wise. We could talk about some cult followings with like some musicians or some
franchises. I was actually going to say the first. Yeah, I would say the first example is the Bayhive. I'm a Beyonce fan as the same person can be. I like your music. Well, I like her later albums. This is a very controversial hot take, but
you like the albums where she had unlimited budget.
It was funny. Yeah, I'll say the production is much better on Beyonce Lemonade than any of her early work because of that. But also, I think it's because of the subject matter too, which I think does come from the production as well as she got older. So I guess needless to say,
it's a little bit of everything, but she also can afford any writer too. Lemonade is a probably a perfect album.
That's because it was, and that's why.
How much money do you think she has made off of Lemonade? That has to be a lot.
Let me see how much.
I'm not going to try to count her. Yeah.
Let me see how much Lemonade costs.
Watch it be like 25 cents. Something stupid.
Analysis. Go ahead and answer that. How much did Beyonce make for Lemonade? Nah, I can't see too much. But I know that she made a lot of money off of that album alone because of the film that she had with it and the production and the tours.
Didn't she sell that to like HBO?
Yeah, she sold it to HBO. Yeah, HBO had a visual. What's we're looking for? It's like a visual.
Visual album.
There we go. It's a visual album.
I want to do a visual album. I actually got offered a thing where I could like make that, but I didn't want to take that.
Yeah, I think that's funny. I think a lot of albums can be great at visual albums depending upon.
And I've always imagined I'm way better at like storytelling in terms of like videos and stuff. Maybe I might come around and I might accept that. I don't know.
Because here's two album examples. Logic's was the Incredible True Story. That could have been a visual album. In fact, they did a plot to the entire album. And the next one is Good Kid, Mad City. I mean, with all the voice recordings at the end of each song.
You know how beautiful I imagine To Pimp a Butterfly, like a really good TV show. Filmed in black and white. And each episode is like some different, almost like a Twilight Zone thing to describe what Blacklist is like in America. Like
the video to These Walls was nuts, but it's like a surreal explaining of sex is and how it's viewed and used upon people, how it can be blasphemous. The point is, guys, is deep. He goes into deep philosophical thoughts about sex and literally saying these walls can talk. They tell me to swim good.
But you know who is killing this visual album thing right now? The Weeknd is putting out a song for each. Putting out a video for each song on that last album, and each of them have perfectly kind of explored the themes that he's trying to portray. And I just watched a video the other day that like kind of breaks everything down from After Hours, where he starts off alone again. And he's just kind of like, how much to light up my star again, or something like that. And he's just basically talking about like, while I'm out of this relationship, I can just start being a terrible person, drug using, gambling, all this stuff all over again.
All over again. Like Heartless.
And which is why Heartless, I guess, is the one he led with, is because in that video, he's just doing drugs, gambling, all that over again. But then as you go through the album, he kind of starts off in that pit and kind of turns it back around. And in the visual album, he's just, or not, I guess not a visual album, but like since each song is basically like a Billboard hit, it has the budget to have its own thing. And in each video, he kind of explores something kind of like different. Some of them are just weird and some of them are just, there to look interesting. But some of them he does explore some deeper stuff. And I love the fact that for one of them, he was able to use the first black anime studio in Japan. First black-owned anime studio.
Yeah,
for the Snow Child video.
Yeah, I've been reading about that. Can you like tell us more about that if you know like more information? Because I've only seen just the title of some articles about like a black-owned like anime studio actually in Japan, not say here in America.
Yeah, I got to look it up. I think it's called like D Art or something Studios. Oh, my Twitter is going crazy. Yeah, it's D Art. SHTAGIO. I don't know how to pronounce that. Dart Shitagio.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Everybody, yeah. Just like everybody, go ahead and look it up yourselves and see what you can find out if you're an anime fan, because that is actually pretty cool to think about.
I'll throw this up on my my feeds, my stories and stuff too, when I post this, so you guys will know what the hell we're talking about as well.
All right, good. Yeah, it was. I'm just really waiting to see what 2021 has for us in terms of artists, like vision and albums, because I believe the first big album supposed to come out this year is Certified Lover Boy. You know,
and that's the thing. Did you see the trailer for that?
No, I didn't. That's one thing.
Let me send that to you.
I better not be some. Oh, you know what? I'm about to watch it.
I feel like you have. It's that thing where he basically just goes back through all of it. I mean, Jay-Z did that before when he did his best album covers and stuff, but.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I definitely did see. He's got that. It's not that stupid like that heart and the same thing. He has to. What's up?
He's the only person. I don't know. He's the only person that could probably get away with that, because Drake is already known for being kind of corny sometimes, anyways. But I better not see nobody else rocking that, and I kind of don't want him to rock it going into the summer if he still has that.
Oh man. They say he recorded this album for 3 years, so he was obviously taking his sweet time. So he let the throwaways come out with Dark Lane demos.
Some people say that he's gonna retire at 35. He also has never taken a year off.
That's actually kind of hard. I mean, being an artist that big and never taking a year off. Like him, I'll be honest, ever since maybe 2012, him and Future have just been at it every single year.
That's what I'm saying. But the thing is that people don't really look for Future to Future for as much depth as they would somebody like Drake. Same thing with like Young Thug. Young Thug can drop twice a year, and people would just kind of be like, oh yeah, that was cool. I'll save 1 or 2 songs and keep it pushing. But when you're kind of at that level of like Drake and really even Future, you kind of have to have everything saved. People are going to need you to buy people are going to want your fans to buy every song on your album. I guess people being your label.
That's pressure from the label,
the expectation.
That's a whole lot of.
I would love that. That's not really a ton of pressure, because if you're on that level, again, if you're like The Weeknd, where you have the budget to make every single song a video. I mean, that's what Future did for his last album, isn't it? The one that wasn't High Off Life.
You mean
The Wizard? That wasn't even his last album. The one where he was like, that had Crushed Up, Going Dummy, Unicorn Perp.
Let me go look it up real quick, because
Unicorn Perp. I don't know why I waited so long to get on that. That with Young Thug and Gunna. That's all. Oh my God.
Yeah, I think that was a Wizard.
And I'm a monster.
Yeah, that was definitely Wizard. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he made.
I don't think he did a video to every song, but he made a lot of videos to that.
Man, all it says, that dude's just been on a roll since, in my opinion, since 2015 is when he finally hit his stride, when he released those 3 projects that in that 1 year, our senior year going to college. Firstly, it was. Let me see what came out.
It was really like 2014, 2015, because by 2015 he had dropped the album. It was the 3 mixtapes: Beast Mode, Future, and Monster.
Yeah, so it was Beast.
No, what did I say? Beast Mode, Future, and Monster. Beast Mode, 56 Nights, and Monster.
Yeah, and then that same year he had DS2 come out as well, which we all know what DS2 is like. And then the same year with that mixtape later that year, What a Time to Be Alive with Drake, which has some.
And let's not forget about Purple Rain.
Purple Rain, March Madness.
Evil. Well, March Madness was on 56 Nights, but Evil, that was a good one. That one that had Wicked. That would be a great
song. Wicked is not a good song.
I don't think it's a bad song. I just think
I can't get with that. That man sounds sleepy. That man sounded high me for that. Wicked time.
I mean, I would love to be able to get something like that off. I feel like he can legitimately go in there and do whatever he wants.
I mean,
and make it some fire.
I mean, have you heard the song "Ice on My Arms" by DJ Khaled and crew?
No. The hook. I don't really listen to a lot of DJ Khaled,
which is understandable. But he literally said, "You can hear my diamonds talking. You can hear my diamonds talking. I gotta protect my arm. I gotta." That's literally how he. You know what? Hold on.
You ever see that episode of SpongeBob when they were in that box and they were like, "We're on Robot Pirate Island," and it's like, "Y'all are," again. You hear all the like sound effects and stuff, and then you open the box and it's like, beep.
Hold on. I'm gonna see. Hold on.
That's what I feel like you were just doing, and then the engineer has to go in there and make all that stuff sound good, and he's doing all these effects and all this auto tune up there, and it sounds like Robot Pirate Island.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me know if you hear the song in the background.
Don't play the song because we don't have the copyright.
I wish I could play it, but look, when you get a chance, listen to Iced Out My Arms. And you'll hear what I'm talking about. That man was literally just mumbling and speaking as if he woke up first thing in the morning. You can hear my diamonds talking. I was like, oh man. No, we already listen. We let him like get away with la di da di da slobber me knob.
You don't act like that was even his worst bars up to that point. And the thing is, I love Future. I might even be a Future stan, but let's run this way back. Because Dirty Soda, Spike Lee, White Girl Ice. What does that mean? What? No, just the first two. What do the first two lines mean? Dirty Soda, Spike Lee. Maybe that's talking about that dirty Sprite. Okay. But what does Spike Lee have to do with this? White Girl Iced Tea? And maybe I'm dumb. I'm going to look up them lyrics.
Listen, I'm looking at the lyrics right now. Listen, he said, "Dirty Soda, Spike Lee, White Girl Iced Tea, fully loaded AP. I just fucked your bitch in some Gucci flip flops. I just had it just."
No way. Let's say that as a sentence right up to the hook.
Dirty Soda, Spike Lee, White Girl Iced Tea, fully loaded AP. Yeah. I just fucked your bitch in some Gucci flops.
I just had some bitches. I made them lip lock. I just took a piss and I see the code coming out.
Speaking for activism, bitch, I'm gonna choose the dirty over you. Now, audience, this is not actually saying these words. We're reading lyrics. This is not the way we talk. These are.
If y'all not hip to Future, get off my podcast.
I just want to make sure that we're not. Listen, because this is bad. They don't like.
Oh, he's saying it's spiked. White Girl Iced Tea, Sir Coco. I knew that. They always talk about white girls when they're talking about drugs. But when he said iced tea, I thought he meant actual tea.
Don't try.
But you know what? That's actually good. No, that's good imagery, though. Because we knew exactly what he meant. But, you know, you don't really usually pause to say it. But that actually has some good double entendre to it. I would give him props for that.
I'll tell you what. Make no mistake. In my opinion, Future has many, many great double entendres. They may be foul, like just horrendous, like not even horrendous. I'm gonna say just foul, like foul double entendres and bars. But the dude has bars. You know, like I said, he could definitely rhyme. Like I would have never thought to say Dirty Soda, Spike Lee, White Girl, Ice-T, describe it as drugged up Sprite.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
kind of crazy.
but that is a good way of putting that though, and that's how he opens. And I didn't want to start shitting on him because he's obviously where he is for a reason,
for a very good reason.
But
marketing.
Oh well, yeah, marketing. But I was also just going to say, artists can be authentic, right? Brands can be authentic, but presidents cannot be authentic.
Yeah, thank you. That get back to everything that we were saying earlier. Like, example, if let's say that Ski Mask decided in 10 years he's going to run for president, we know the rapper Ski Mask. I don't want Ski Mask. I like Ski Mask's music for what he is, but I don't want this man.
No celebrity should be running for president.
Thank you.
Unless you're famous for being a politician or a government worker. If you're famous for being a governor, sure. If you're famous for being a congressman, right ahead. If you're famous for being on TikTok, no, you do not have to go. If you're famous from a failed reality TV show, no. Which is why I never understood why people thought that because he was a famous rich dude, he could run a country. Branding.
I'm like, do you know how many rich people I know that are incompetent?
Most, because most don't have to do anything ever.
Except be rich. Just be rich. That's it.
These people don't.
But like I said, this goes back to.
I can never get over that. They literally do not need. You know how some people say, I need to do this. They don't need anything. They have no needs at all.
Which, I mean, just think about it. Why the heck do rich people hate paying taxes so much as far as us regular citizens don't mind? Well, we may not like it, but we're not going to hip and haw about paying our taxes to the point where we're going to try our best to avoid paying them by any means necessary.
I mean, they'll Wesley snipe your ass before 35.
Oh, easily. I mean, like I said, it's only like rich folk that worry about getting tax cuts all the time and whatnot. Just think about it. In fact, if I'm concerned,
you know the vibes.
I mean, yeah, like again, like it doesn't make any sense to me. Just think about it, right? Shouldn't really people who make less money want to pay less taxes so they can have more money to live? Because rich folk are rich because
who have able in abundance, which is another future song.
An abundance of resources, like they have enough to live by. So being rich means that you have a surplus of your needs and wants. Yeah, a surplus of resources. That's really what it means. Which means that if you have a surplus of resources, you should be okay to pay taxes that will help out other people. Which gets back to the whole point is that when you're rich, you don't need government assistance or care for a government or need.
You don't need anything. You don't need police because your own private security is probably better at protecting your stuff. As well as your person. You don't need healthcare because your private doctors can get you a lot better stuff done. You don't need roads because most rich people travel by helicopter now. So what do you care about if roads are good?
That's why it's really all about just trying to do something for the citizens. And what's funny? There was a video I watched today that perfectly described the difference between communistic Soviet Union and capitalistic America during the 80s. There was a car called the Yugo that came over here in the 80s that is just the worst car that was ever made. And the reason why there's such a big debate in the Soviet Union to build cars is because when you have a car, it's a sense of self-identity. And the whole point of communism was to get rid of that self-identity. And like we're all just one identity. So therefore, no personalization, no fun, no nothing. Pretty much no self-expression.
I don't think any society on earth has been able to successfully blend people having identities and people all getting along. I don't think people have to contrast just because their identities don't match or their ideologies are not the same. We get a lot more done together than we ever would separately.
That's exactly
and you know what's really crazy? That kind of takes me to the showcase I went to the other day. I tried to be the most hype person of the audience. I cheered for every single body. I jumped, I clapped, I was hyping them up because I basically went first. And nobody gave me any. Well, I'm not going to say nobody gave me energy. The host actually really liked me.
Okay, good.
The judges like me too. But, I would say there was a fair amount of people in the audience that did say they liked it, but it's a lot harder to perform if nobody is looking like they're interested. And even if they are liking it, if they don't show it, it's not like I can read their mind.
Of course.
So I'm jumping around. I'm trying to get everybody hype and stuff because I know if the roles were reversed for me, it would definitely make my performance a little harder if nobody is liking it. And I saw a meme earlier where a rapper I met at a different showcase, me and him just did the song that's dropping on Thursday or Friday or whatever this week. Y'all gonna check it out. It's called You Know the Vibes. I met him at a different showcase and he posted on his thing. He was like, hey bro, it was like, those memes where it's like the, Wojak.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Wojak is like the guy where it has that white background and then it's always like a face like, hey son, you winning? Or the Pisces girl, or like, hey, do you like this? And it's like, yes. And then they go off together, or like,
yes,
what's your, yeah, they're all over Twitter.
That bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah, they're called Wojak memes, and they made a whole bunch of them for like different colors and races of people. But basically, he posted one of those, and it was one rapper to another guy like, hey, bro, can you check out my music? He's like, no, I'm not about to put you on. I rap too. And then it was like, I'll be damned if you blow up before me. And it's like, that's really kind of how it is.
Yeah, what's funny is, we could take that two ways. We could take it from a society standpoint, or we could take it from a racial standpoint, and we could talk about how in the Black community,
crabs in a barrel.
Let me just go there. Yeah, let me just go there real quick for the people. Some people need to hear this, whether they like it or not. We as a Black community, a lot of us have realized that, hey, we pull each other down more than we uplift each other for those exact reasons, and we still do it. It's like the notion of in a rap game. Why is it that we need to battle each other in order to prove our worth? We need to downplay.
And it is very entertaining, and I enjoy the sport of it. But at the same time, if we pulled our resources together, do you know why Nicki Minaj and Drake be hopping on all these features and stuff for these nobodies? Because it builds their exposure too. You might think you don't think it's giving them the look. But every time they link with somebody, it is more people being added to their fan base.
Just think about when
it's
Drake,
a lot. Huh?
No, just think about when Drake hopped on a Versace for the Migos back in 2013.
Yeah.
That did wonders for that song.
Yeah, it did. And it gave them a lot of recognition. But Drake also needed some hypeness. Some newness, a new flow to steal. And I'm not saying, take from that what you will, but they need to ride waves too. Don't ever think that Beyonce or Drake or somebody Beyonce has a cult following, but Drake also kind of has a cult following. But at the lifestyles that they live, they would never let their popularity drop below a certain percent.
Oh no, it wouldn't. And again, since hip hop was born about in our community to explain the struggles, it is our art technically. It is also a reflection as far as how the Black community sometimes operates. Whenever we find a new niche, we have people that are trying to uplift themselves. People rap to make money. Okay, well, instead of us helping out each other, it's all a competition. Why is it that hip hop came to a point in the 90s where, rappers were killing each other, or people were dying over disses over just petty, stupid shit.
Yeah.
It's all a competition. It's like, hey, how do I get ahead, instead of trying to help out the next man.
And my point to that, though, is think about if, and this is for all the aspiring artists at home, collaboration is really, really good. That's why you see Instagrammers and stuff doing that all the time. Imagine if you have 5,000 followers and somebody else has 5,000 followers, and you two collab, right? If you can convert all of your followers over, that's 5. And then if he can convert all his followers over, that's 5. Every time they search for either of your names, both of you come up. You guys grow a lot faster together than you do in competition with each other. Yeah, and all that really does is just drive it down. I mean, the thing is, there's so much music and stuff being put out anyways. It's not like it hurts you to collaborate. It's not like, somebody else isn't going to put out 13 mixtapes or whatever. Just because you put one guy down, which it kind of leads to the whole point of capitalism. So some people believe that competition, there's no downside to competition. It literally leads to only development and pushing to your limits. And while that is true, let's say in a micro sense, on the outside, sometimes the competition is so detrimental. Is rational actors, and everybody follows that, and people don't have their own interest or no interest along the way. Because you got to remember, as we see, people don't know, and that's what I always say: if you treat capitalism like it's a game,
monopoly,
like if it's monopoly, they don't give you capital to start with to play the game, and B, it's not like they sit down and explain the rules either. There are a lot of people that have no idea what to do with money. Or how to get around certain things like that, or how to maximize it to their benefits. So you can't, give these projections as if everybody is a rational actor, as if everybody is playing the game correctly. Most people don't know how, and most people
don't know how.
Yeah,
and most people that do know how to play the game, and most people that do play the game cheat the game so much. I mean, that's why we see people who get positions of power a lot of times, do stuff that like benefit themselves. I mean, like we saw that literally in House of Cards, where even like at the beginning of the second season, spoiler alert if anyone's watching House of Cards.
Well, I'm so glad that you rewatched it, because I've seen House of Cards twice, and we need to address the Kevin Spacey thing, I guess. I mean, I guess we could have just said nothing about it, because I think people have probably forgotten about it by now. But there was those allegations that he was also like a pedophile. I'm not saying that I don't believe that, but House of Cards is still a great show, man. I've already seen it. So
as a product and artist, so it's kind of scary that how when that show came out, we're like, oh, this is crazy. This never happened in real life. And we saw it happen in his presidency. But besides that, we really saw, Frank Underwood legit make a deal with a billionaire who said, I want you to be a vice president only because I need you to uplift these terrorists to get this precious metal to make my company more money. When I'm like, dude, you're already worth $60 billion. Like, you won. Like, bro, you won in life. There's literally nothing that you can't do on this earth that you can finance. Like, you literally won. Like, why do you feel like you need to make more money and legit, I would say, cheat the democratic process that you push onto us as people to say, hey, I'm deciding who's vice president, not the people and whatnot. It's almost cheating. No, that's what it's just cheating. Just to put it in a simple game terms, it's cheating. And that's what we see in capitalist society, where, people are greedy, and they get a taste of more money. They're going to try their best to hold on to it by any means necessary, or power, which you see with white supremacists. We're getting deep this episode.
Yeah. I mean, how long have we been going on for, though? Do you know?
Oh, man.
Does it have a little thing up here? I don't know how to work this app. We're using Zoom. Hello, Zoom. Zoom. That's Mazda, right?
Yep.
No, Mazda is.
That shit is Mazda. Oh, you know what? That reminds me. It was funny. I may sound like a Kendrick stan. You know, I try not to be. But again, I said about this last time in the last podcast. I want to point out something as well about the Heart Part 4, that song. Is that, you know, that song that came out right before Damn came out. There were two things that he kind of prophesized. You know, people have been saying, man, where has Kendrick been, you know, during this whole Black Lives Matter movement? And I try to
think
tell
he wants
people,
any of that touching his brand.
I don't think it's even that either, bro. He literally said 4 years ago, to this day, 4 years ago, in the song Hard Part 4, you know, I try to prophesy to help the black artists, but with shit getting bracking with Donald Trump on them, don't you ask for me. And then, and in that song, he was handing out haymakers and disses to Drake without people realizing it. Because at one point in the song, he pointed out that Drake has a still sounds, and he was mimicking Drake saying, I don't like that, crunching up some paper. And Drake said, that ain't the style. Fuck. I was like, that was him like imitating Drake, saying that you be stealing styles for nothing and you can't do shit yourself.
Yeah.
And
but the thing is, I hate to say it, but that's a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, if we're gonna have this conversation, even though I hate to be like, what do you call it? The backseat rapper. I guess that's what I kind of am, because I do study hip hop really closely.
Yeah, of course.
But the thing is that that's what every artist does. How many people hopped on that drill sound after that got popping?
A lot of people.
How many people hopped on the mumble wave after that was, you know, how many people said auto-tune was never going to be the wave and then hopped on it?
That's
just a cyclical nature of hating.
And this is where, you know, we can have a whole podcast about hating. And, you know, I say all that because Kendrick was
Doesn't Kendrick have a song? Yeah. Oh, I was about to say. No, you finish your point.
I know. I was just saying that there's a point where there's nothing wrong with an artist having a similar flow to another artist, not because it's their. We need to get out that notion that an artist has to do something completely original with no influence from anybody. When we society fail to forget that, hey,
but that's what I'm saying. It all comes down to branding. I can't stress this enough, because the reason why the sound. How many times have I said this? I feel like off. I don't know if I said this on podcast or not, but. How many times have I said off air is not about being the best in the market. It's about being the first. And if you have an original sound, say you're the first person using auto-tune, you're going to be known for that. If you're the first person doing, I don't know, R&B and singing and stuff while you're rapping, you're going to be known for that. If you're the first person mumbling or whatever the fuck Travis Scott is doing, you're going to be, well, Travis Scott is known for more than that. And a lot of these artists are known for more than that. But that's the thing. You kind of constantly have to chase new market share. So you got to be known. Some people are going to be known for drill. Some people are going to be known for something else. And I mean, the one thing why I've always kind of like, why I will give Drake some slack is because I would much rather him just jack a style than be bored with the art. And I know that sounds bad, but I have always been in art classes and stuff growing up. And some of the most famous art, Andy Warhol literally just took some freaking cans of Campbell's tomato soup, made it a bunch of different colors, and that became the piece of art in its time. And there have been so many. Growing up, I was also such a nerd, so all of my art was inspired from like anime and comic books and movies and stuff like that. And I got really good at doing that. But you can always have some original way of twisting it and doing something cool with it. And I remember there was one art class where our teacher just showed us a picture of somebody who painted a mustache over the Mona Lisa and called it a whole new piece. And the thing is that really sparked controversy in the art world because he released it as his own piece. Is it actually his?
I mean, didn't Cardi B hop on Kodak Black's flow with a song called Bodak Yellow?
And that's what I'm saying about branding is because Drake has always been known for writing people's stuff. There was a long period where Drake was not known for having a bad verse. So when Drake was supposed to have writers, that's why everybody, flipped out because you know how many rappers use writers? There have been respected OG rappers, like the hardest rappers that are known for like, oh yeah, we bought this hook from somebody.
I mean, yeah, of course, I mean,
or we call such and such to get in the studio to give me a hook. I couldn't find a hook for this next song.
I mean, because like this is where it is also all about putting on a good show and a good performance. Because rest in peace, MF Doom, but he's probably one of the best technical bar. What's what I go for?
Bar artist, one of them.
Yeah, bar artists is
lyrical miracles.
Yeah, like lyrical miracle spiritual rappers that has ever lived, but his whole branding was like, look, I'm not gonna be.
Oh, can we just take a second to respect him? I actually am like an MF Doom stan as well. That is the best rapper with no chain you ever heard. I wish I had a sound of applause I could put off. We can give him a moment of silence.
Because I mean, his music is not necessarily for you to kind of like party or vibe to, but it's about listening to
and
just appreciating his technique. That's what it is. It's about his technique, and he's such a good technical rapper. He's able to just go beyond the bar. The bar can't contain his lyrics. I mean, it's hard to describe to the general population that there's like rap, but it's like a really, really niche population, which is knowing which your
audience. Well, his references were always obscure and niche and stuff like that. So you always felt like, you didn't know what to really expect sometimes.
Not at all. In fact, this man was known for having people stand in for him during his concerts. It's like, could you imagine?
I have always thought that was the most brilliant thing. Without sharing too much of the secret sauce, I don't know why more rappers don't do that. I don't know why more artists don't do that, because there's no problem with movies doing that. Movies will replace James Bond or the Incredible Hulk or whatever with some new guy and just act like, you keep it pushing. If you're going to sound alike anyways, I don't see why you can't just swap it out for somebody else, somebody who's younger and maybe cares more. Especially if your name is something generic like, I hate to say it, Young Thug. Now that we have Gunna, there's no reason that Young Thug can't retire and Gunna can't just be New Thug.
New Thug? You mean like a new Robin or something like that? Now you make it sound like comic book artists, which is actually a fun concept. Like, this is a new.
That's what I want to do with the Prince of Rhodes. I don't plan on being the Prince of Rhodes forever. When I turn 25, I plan on getting against some younger person, and then I'll help him write. I'll basically develop him as an artist. He can keep my brand young and fresh, and we can keep it pushing.
So keep it popping. Honestly, the Victory Clique can turn into a whole record label and whatnot, which is how it all gets started. I mean,
technically, we're halfway there. Well, right now, I kind of am only a record label because the only IP I own is my own.
Yeah.
So
all your own masters, right?
Yeah.
Technically. And that's where, like we see people like J. Cole started a label and sign artists that are a little bit younger or artists that have a different sound to it. I mean, let's just, we talked about TDE in the last podcast. Let's talk about Dreamville for a little bit as one of our last topics. Okay, so we have Jermaine Cole, who we have described as the soul of hip hop. And then we got JID, who is like a semi-younger version of an East Coast Kendrick.
Everybody always says that. I don't think they're the same at all. I just think just because maybe it's what his voice is doing and they sound alike, but I don't think their styles are the same. If one of them had a different voice, let's just say JID actually sounded like J. Cole, right? Nobody would be comparing him to Kendrick. It's just the fact that they sounded like a little bit.
Yeah,
like
that's what I mean.
Alike.
Like in terms of how they talk, and also I will say in terms of how talented they are, in terms of just their flows, they can do it.
I'm not saying JID isn't talented, but again, part of being an artist is also the branding. Part of it is the writing. Part of it is the putting out the show. Do you think that JID could have handled, I'm not going to say he can't handle, but do you think he could have put together a To Pimp a Butterfly, a Damn, a Good Kid, Mad City?
He can do no, but
that's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you what,
he can sound like him, but that is not all of Kendrick's artist identity. He's more than just that sound.
I mean, like JID's albums have touched the subject matters that Kendrick talks about, but like in his own way, you know.
And that's what every artist should try to do. I mean, because you're never going to be able to out Kendrick, and you're never going to be able to out Drake. I mean, that's really what it is. And that's why I always say everybody should just be themselves, because even in your own life, you shouldn't try to be like other people, because you'll never be them. You'll always just be second them.
Do you hear that, audience? Just a quick deep moment for everyone to listen to, help them out. You know, one of the things that is key to unhappiness is when you compare yourself to other people. Like JT said it best, y'all. Just embrace yourself and be yourself. You know
what's so funny? After that one Halloween party, I want to say in 2016, I forgot who was in the hotel room, but I guess we all fell asleep with the TV on, and there was this song that came on in the background, and it's like, if you want to be you, be you. And if you want to be me. And that has haunted me to this day. What does that mean?
I get the first part where you want to be me. Everything are free. I remember that song. I heard it one time in a Jeep commercial. I thought it made no sense. But why would you say, if you want to be you, be you?
So that's the thing. I thought maybe because it was the middle of the night and we were all half asleep. And maybe it was a Jeep commercial.
I remember it. Like, I'm gonna sing that song off air so you can hear it again. So you
want to be me, be me.
Oh man, but still, y'all.
Should we end it on this note? Be yourselves. You know the vibes, dropping on Thursday or Friday. Check both days. I don't know. Oh, well, you know what? It will be out already by the time we put this out. So why do I keep saying that? If you haven't heard it, then go back and listen to it because it came out last week. Because we already picked a date for this podcast. So that's all I really want to plug. I want to plug my new song. Also plug the Victory Clique playlist. Go look that shit up on Spotify. It's the fucking rowdiest shit up there. And I want to plug being a genuine person to yourselves and just giving off them good vibrations. The universe responds to the vibrations you give out.
Yeah. Everyone remember to eat, pray, show some love.
Eat, pray, and love.
Yeah,
and not just...
Edit that out.
No, I'm keeping that.
Yeah, no.
I was in my head. I'm like, I know he's not about to tell them to eat, pray, love.
Oh man, I had to do it. Yeah, but no, that says no, everybody. I hope everyone has a safe week and a safe month. You know, whenever you find information, look for valid sources. Fuck Donald Trump.
That's so key. Oh yeah, fuck Donald Trump.
People.
We don't have the rights to that song, so we got to do our own ghetto version of it.
And last but not least, everybody buy some Bitcoin. Even though price is going down, just buy some.
Oh, you know what?
Money.
Okay, maybe don't talk. Well, I mean, you should invest, especially when the market is down, but that's a whole different subject for another day. Anyways, peace and victory to the world. Bye. Goodbye. Oh, I might edit that out. Why do we both do that? Okay, bye for real.
I'm
not going to edit that. Okay.